Hello everybody, this is MagicGatheringStrat. I'm Budgeteer on the forums, Joseph in real life, and I'm going to send in submissions to the Pauper Gauntlet and basically just share with you all my wacky, crazy brews. So first one let's go down the list, is the Bants on my list I posted earlier. I think this one's going to be the one that I kind of take apart though, because Dan was right. I built the deck too much around Captured Sunlight, and well, Captured Sunlight is a fine card. It is not a spectacular card. It is not a build around me card. Because of that, this deck will most likely pop apart. It was the Deep Dog Shell, splashing white for Captured Sunlight and Centaur Healer, and the Singleton Patrol Hound in case you did not get a Wild Mongrel. Deck is another discard outlet for Deep Analysis, Travel Preparations. I wanted to add Blackwater Elementals to bring in more aggro. I think it would make the deck better, but, you know, I get bored, like, really quickly with decks, so. Continuing on. Nope. Oh, here we go. This is the Blink Post deck I was considering submitting, but it seems like similar decks have already been submitted. Yeah, 4 Expedition Map, Aven Rift Watcher, Fierce Empath, Maul Splicer, Stonehorn Dignitary, Titanic Bullvox, Journey to Nowhere, Cloud Shift, Moment's Peace, Otherworldly Journey. So the whole goal of this deck was to draw out the game using various life gain techniques and blink techniques. So you have a fatty package of 4 Titanic Bullvox, which work with Cloud Shift. So basically, you morph Titanic Bullvox down as a 2/2. On your next turn, you Cloud Shift it up for a 7/4 on turn 4. Seems pretty good, right? You can do that with Fierce Empath on turn 3, so you can go turn 3, Fierce Empath, get Titanic Bullbox, turn 4, morph it, blink it, you got a 7/6. I mostly use that against mid-range decks. That's what I would normally get. Against control decks, you get the Maul Splicer, just 3 bodies are tough to deal with, and it's a nice threat, and it makes nice blockers. I had Walker of the Grove in here somewhere. I think I just decreased the numbers down on the Maul Splicers. I forgot where I put those in though. I think it should be like 2, 3, and then Walker. Oh, what happened here? Did I modify the search settings? I believe I did. Wow. So it should be... Notice how none of my decks have sideboards. I just like to brew, or whoops, I should go to my deck. Not a lot of my decks have sideboard. It's because I like to brew, so sometimes I don't have time to test all the brews I make. So Walker of the Grove goes well with not Otherworldly Journey. These should be, I updated this since then. Angelic Renewal. So save it again, sorry. So how this works is you cast Angelic Renewal for 5 on turn 5. You have had this in place since turn 2. Then, so the Walker dies, you evoke it, makes a 4/4 when it dies. It goes to the graveyard, use Angelic Renewal to bring it back. So you have a 4/4 and a 7/7. And when the 7/7 dies, you get another 4/4. And the good thing about Walker of the Grove is when it leaves play, so Cloud Shift cast on Walker of the Grove just keeps netting you 4/4s every time, and it's not enters the battlefield, so it's just something to note. Moment's Peace, there to stop aggro decks because the deck is slow. You can Stonehorn Dignitary. I haven't come up with a lock yet. Normally I would try to do something like that, some type of lock. But yeah, there's this deck. If you like it, you can continue editing it. There's no sideboard for it now. If it wasn't a sideboard, this deck struggled against Fisher decks where their win con was not any creature-based stuff. This did pretty well against any creature-based thing, so I prepared mostly for the mono blacks and stuff. So let's continue. No, that's not that one. This is one. This is a fun deck. This is one I built. It's 3 colors, hard to do in Pauper, but I think I made it work. Your first card is 4 Gold Warrior Brown Scale, 4 Grave Scrabbler, 4 Sneak Bleedent, 4 Killing Tree Folk, 4 Tortured Existence, 3 Dangerous Wager, which when you can use this card good, it works really well. Instant speed draw, always nice. Discarding your hand in this deck, never a problem, because you've got 4 Tortured Existence. So you got the lands, 2 Baron Moor, cycling lands, good with Killing Tree Folk. You can continually recur. I love Engine, so that's what I put in this deck. 2 Baron Moor for Forest, 2 Forgotten Cave, another discarding lands to cycling lands. 6 Mountain, 2 Acto Skill Gate, 5 Swamp, and then Sorcery, 1 Burning Inquiry. These are good against silver decks. After they ponder, their hand selection, they've got what they want in their hand, and you can really screw that up with a Burning Inquiry. For Delirium Skeins, this card's insane. I love it. I've tried to play this card so many times. It's just insane. Getting the opponent to dish 3 cards out of your hand, where you're just basically moving 3 cards from your hand to your graveyard, and with the Torch Resistance, that really does not matter. With the Grave Scrabblers, you can, madness them and get back whatever else you discarded too. It's really nice. Faithful Fluting, part of the reason you run red. Icefall, good against post decks. It's another win con. You basically recover a bunch after letting your Stinkweed Imps and Killing Tree Folks die. Just keep covering it, blowing up their lands. 4 Raven's Crime. You're going to have a lot of lands with Killing Tree Folk, recurring back to your hand. You're going to gain life with Gold Guard, Brown Scale, so Raven's Crime is another way to get this stripped down their hand. This is one of my most favorite decks. It is insanely fast. It is lightning fast. So you've got start for 4 Chromatic Star, 4 Lotus Petal, 4 Springleaf Drum, 4 Ardent Recruit, 4 Auriac Sunchaser, 4 Court Homunculus, 4 Frogmite, 4 Glint Hawk, 4 Goblin Bushwhacker, 4 Porcelain Legionnaire, 4 Galvanic Blast, 4 Ancient Dead, then 4 Great Furnace, 2 Mountain, 2 Plains, only running 12 lands, and I'm running I'm running a total of 16 mana sources, which is, correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe some Delta Blue decks run. But anyways, this deck is never designed to get more than 3 mana sources. And if you're counting Lotus Petal, you have 20 mana sources. You have total for Rebirth. Lotus Petal are in there for early acceleration and for Rebirth and easy Metalcraft and Affinity getting out. In the sideboard, you get 2 Standard Bearer because Armadale Cloak screws this deck over so hard. You got 1 CIP green. Sorry. You got 1 CIP green for said Aura decks because it does not target. That is really nice. Apostle's Blessing, just for mono black lists, it's protecting a few random things from. I should. If Brave the Elements was a common, I would definitely be on this card, but Crypt Rats blows up all your stuff, so you gotta protect it somehow. This is one way. Electrickery, Stompy, killing all that good stuff. Pyroblast, dealing with Post. It's pretty prominent, so Pyroblast in there for that. 1 Stave Off. No, the only thing to note, it doesn't have to be your creature, so if Stompy tries to target their green creature, then you can give their creature protection from green. That spell will fall off. It's actually a pretty neat card. I included one of it in the sideboard. Yeah, it's been pretty useful for me. And 3 raids to kill posts. So this has been one of my more favorite lists. It is so quick. Normally you should have 0 cards in hand by turn 3. And I've killed people on turn 3 before. I have had like 2 Colossal Rebirths and Goblin Bushwhacker, and the game was just over. It was insane. Let's continue. Magicgathering Pauper, that's Commander Pauper. Modern. Mono black aggro. This is a suicide black, but like even more suicide than normal. You're just playing 3 3s for 2, 2 2s for 1. You know, just trying to get maximum value out of every card. Single Phage, Vampire Lacerator, White Shirt of Nerd, Dark Ritual to help accelerate you early. This card is insane. Getting 5 points of power. I've gotten technically 6 points of power out in turn 1. It's just the things that Dark Ritual allow you to do in this deck are just unfair. Cheap removal and Doomblade and Snuff Out. I feel like I should take out Doomblade for something else, but I haven't had enough time to do the ton of testing yet. 17 Swamp, 3 Duress has been really good for me, taking out Flame Slashes and whatnot. For those of you that haven't seen this deck before, it's the Nomads deck that uses Dire Spiritualist and Nomad and Core to create an infinite 0, it's 1 power, infinite toughness Dire Spiritualist. And you can use Sheltering Word, which says target creature you control gains hexproof until end of turn. You gain life equal to that creature's toughness. So what you do is you target the Dire Spiritualist after you use the Nomads and Core to make it a 1 infinite, and then you gain infinite life. Metamorphosis helps you to fix your mana and cantrip. Inside Out to switch target creature's power and toughness in the turn. So what you end up doing is you'll end up attacking with your 1 infinite, and they'll be like, alright, whatever, I'll take. Because especially against like Delver, they don't want to block with their fairies or anything, so they're like, whatever, I'll take. You cast Inside Out, switches their power and in the turn, so that 1 infinite now becomes an infinite 1, and they die. It also a cantrip, so you can use it sparingly. You have 4 Faithless Looting to dig for stuff, and you got 4 to tax and probe. Just to free cantrip is very nice in combo decks like this. I used to run About Face, which is another common. It's the same thing Inside Out, but it doesn't cantrip, and it only costs 1 red singleton. I'll show it to you on the screen over here. About Face. Switch target creature's power and toughness to end of turn. Basically, cheaper than Inside Out, but I was running a room. I had to cut into my creature base. So Nomads and Core, basically more expensive Nomads and Core, or Spirit on Core. Yeah, that's like the same thing. It says 0. Read the next one, damage that we got to Spirit on Core is dealt to target creature that you control instead. So you can also create like infinite blockers. It's just like if once you get 2 of these out, there's no way you should lose the game. Task Force is a rebel. Whenever it comes to target of Stellar Beauty, it gets +0/+3 until end of turn. And Tireless Tribe. Discard a card from your hand. Tireless Tribe gets +0/+4 until end of turn. So what you end up doing is you play Tireless Tribe in turn 1. You have Inside on your hand turn 2. You attack with Tireless Tribe. They don't block. You discard all of your hand except for Inside Out to give it +4, +0/+20, and then you switch its power and toughness, and it becomes a 21/1, and they die. So just simple tricks like that. It's pretty fun one. So now here are the 2 decks I've designed recently, and I really need help. So these are like kind of ones that I want to submit, and like I would love to submit in the Gauntlet, but unfortunately I can't. So you start with 4 Advocate of the Beast. My Cockatrice is scrubby. I still need to update the cards.xml file that allows me to see the newer cards. But anyways, there's 4 Advocate of the Beast, 1 Blind Creeper. Notice this is a zombie beast. Cavern Harpy is a harpy beast. Now, I know I'm going 3 colors again, but the possibilities with 3 colors are marvelous. And this is one of my most favorite decks. I have another version of this deck too, which is built around like a combo, so I'll show you that later too. So Cavern Harpy, whenever Cavern Harpy enters the battlefield, return a black or blue creature you control to its owner's hand. Pay 1 life, return Cavern Harpy to its owner's hand. So it's infinite blocker, and you can return any of your blue or black beast back to your hand. Next card is 4 Grazing Gladeheart. This may sound weird. It says whenever landing is battlefield under control, you may gain 2 life. I'll explain why that's in later. 4 Slippery Boggle. Good with Advocate of the Beast. Nice place to store counters. Solid card, got hexproof. Easy to bounce with Cavern Harpy. And so you can draw cards with Wirewood Savage. Whenever it says that it's an elf for 2 and a green. Whenever a beast enters the battlefield, you may draw a card. It is a common. This card is insane. Next, 4 Thundering Tanadon. You're normally getting a lot of life from Grazing Gladeheart, so paying that 4 life when you have to cast it is not that big a deal. It's easy on the mana base. You are going 3 colors. I wanted a beast that you could go turn 3 Advocate, turn 4 Beast. And you can't do that with Blastoderm because Blastoderm is Shroud, so you cannot target it. Imperiosaur requires you to use all basic lands, which I am not running this deck, so Thundering Tanadon is the next best choice. In addition, it has some form of invasion, it has trample. So, it won't get chumped for days by the stupid Delver player with his stupid fairy tokens out. Wirewood Savage, I already explained. Then next is Wormfang Newt. It is a Nightmare Beast. Nightmare Salamander Beast, actually. It says it's 1 of the blue for a 2/2. When Wormfang Newt enters the battlefield, exile a land you control. When Wormfang Nuke leaves the battlefield, return the exiled land to the battlefield under its owner's control. Now, you never play this on turn 2. You never play this on turn 2. It'll make more sense, but notice how you have lands entering the battlefield, and when this leaves the battlefield, that land enters back in the battlefield, and it's a beast. And you have a Wirewood Savage, so there's going to be some Flicker theme going on here, which is proven the next card for Ghostly Flicker. And basically blink any of your beasts, draw 2 cards. You can blink lands, gain 4 life. You can blink beasts and lands to draw cards and gain life. It's basically the ultimate thing against aggro decks. The problem is, though, the problem I've been having is without a Grazing Gladeheart in hand against aggro decks, you're kind of screwed. And against black, if they have any removal for your key pieces, you basically lose the game. This is best against creature-based decks that are kind of mid-rangey or really aggro. So there's that. There's a full Ghostly Flicker for Snap. I will explain the interaction later. I also posted this deck on the Pauper Decks People forums. If you've seen it there, please comment. It needs help before it gets submated into the Gauntlet. So next you got 2 Dimmer Aqueduct, 5 Forest, 2 Golgari Rock Farm, 6 Island, 4 Simic Growth Chamber, 4 Swamp. In the sideboard, you've got 4 Blastoderm to deal with those pesky black decks. It's got Shroud, which is really nice. Grazing Kelpie to deal with black decks. Another thing to note, Advocate of the Beast puts +1/+1 counters on it. Grazing Kelpie gets -1/-1 counters. So those +1/+1 and -1/-1 counters cancel out. In addition, when Grazing Kelpie persists, it will draw you an extra card off the Wirewood Savage, which I've always found to be pretty nice. Mold Shambler, this is kind of like a utility card that I just really haven't found. Like, I don't know what else to put in my sideboard. Vines of Vast is coming out. It's a way to give Shroud, but because all the creatures are so important to the deck, except for maybe Advocate of the Beast, if you add these in, your hands tend to get gummed up with things that you can't find at the time, and kind of stuff like that. So I call this Pauper Beast Ball. I made another one called Pauper Beast Stall. This one is a bit kind of like more tricksy. It's only got 59 cards. It's a problem. Wait. Oh, I wanted to show you something in the last deck too. So Beast Ball. There is this card. It's a Beast Mutant, 4 and a blue, Graph 3. When this creature enters the battlefield with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you may move a +1/+1 counter from this creature onto it. 1: target creature with a +1/+1 counter on it gains flying. Interesting to note, Advocate of the Beast gives +1/+1 counters. So what you do is you could, with the Helium Squirter, you could give anything that Advocated boost up +1/+1 counters, and in addition, the Helium Squirter, when you graft it onto its other creatures and it's like a 1/1, you can blink it and it'll come back into play with 3. So that's another way of distributing counters. And another fun thing you need to do is if the only thing you have is Advocate and a Helium Squirter out, you can repeatedly put counters on the Helium Squirter, and as you play other creatures, you can distribute those counters out. So you can use the Helium Squirter as like a way to store counters almost. It's not in the deck. I took it out in favor of Blind Creeper. I just felt like it was too cute, even though it was a way to break through deadlocks. But this deck never gotten a lot of dreadlocks, or deadlocks. It had a nice long game. So I'll show you the other deck. I've had a bit more success with this one because it has a way to kind of clean up the game almost. It still needs one more card in it. I'm working out what that is. This out of the 2 decks. I've played a total of 5 games off a total of these 2 decks. 3 of them have been against blue blacklists, all against that first one, the Beast Ball one I showed you, and it's lost 3 times. This one is played twice and won both, mainly off of the combo I will show you later. So first for Cavern Harpy, same as the first one. For Grazing Gladeheart, same as the first one. No, you don't have Advocate of the Beast though. I did that intentionally. I know this is a beast deck, pun, but just bear with me here. Golf Squid, this is really strange. I bet no one has ever heard this card before. Or if you have, it's a fun one. It's 3 and a blue for a creature beast or squid beast, and it's a 2/2. When Golf Squid enters the battlefield, tap all lands target player controls. So with that blinking theme earlier, you can cast Ghostly Flicker on somebody else's turn, and they will not get to untap their lands. Mnemonic Wall, it's not something you saw in the last one either. That's because with Ghostly Flicker, Mnemonic Wall, and Ghost Squid, you can infinitely tap their lands down on their turn. Note how Ghost Squid is a beast. You can draw cards from the Ghost Squid off the Wirewood Savage, which we brought up earlier. And then next we have a card that's not a beast, and I wish it was a beast. It's called Wormfang Drake. It's Wormfang Drake, 2 and a blue, Nightmare Drake. It's a 3/4 with flying. Now when Wormfang Drake enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless you exile a creature you control other than Wormfang Drake. When Wormfang Drake leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Something you can do is you can basically, I'm going to quote-unquote call it champion, a Ghost Squid, and you can either snap the Wormfang Drake, or you can Ghostly Flicker the Wormfang Drake, and the Ghost Squid will enter, and they will not get to untap again. Unfortunately, it is not a beast. I'm kind of looking for other cards to replace this Wormfang Drake. And then at the bottom here, you've got the Wormfang Newt. Goes well with the Raising Bladeheart and the blink. Basically, enters the battlefield, you blink a land, you blink it, the land comes back, gain 2 life, and you get a float of mana, and then the Wormfang Newt comes back, exiles the land again. So you've got 4 Ghostly Flicker, 4 Snap, 1 Dummer Aqueduct, 5 Forest, 1 Golgari Rock Farm, 6 Island, 2 Simic Growth Chamber, 4 Swamp, and 4 Terramorphic Expanse. This one has fetches. The other one should have fetches. It doesn't. I just haven't really got around to updating the other one yet, even though I made this deck yesterday. Or last night, kind of. Ish. Anyways, 4 Terramorphic Expanse. Goes well with Grazing Bladeheart. You can do little tricks with that. Out of the sideboard, 4 Blastoderm. Hasn't changed there. 3 Grazing Kelpie. 4 Mold Chamber. 4 Vines of the Vastwood. Again, the sideboards always need work with my deck, because they'll always need work with my deck. Anyways, so tricks you can do with the deck. The main core of the deck, the Cavern Harpies, the Wormfang Newts, the Grazing Bladehearts, and the Wirewood Savage. So, I posted on the Pauper People Blood forum. I'll go get that up right now. Alright, I've got to log in first. Hold on. My username is Budgeteer, as it is on Cockroach 2. No, people comment in my thread. I need help. This deck is well, I guess it's kind of, okay. Here's what I posted. The deck is 1 giant bag of tricks. Wormfang Newt. Casting Snap nets you 2 life or 1 card and 1 mana spent. Basically floating the mana on recasting. I meant the Newt, not the Herald. Casting Ghostly Flicker and blinking the Newt and a land nets you either 4 life or 1 card and 2 mana spent. Blinking 2 beasts nets you 2 cards or 2 life. Cavern Harpy with a Savage that says blue-black, draw a card. Just return it to itself at its end of the battlefield ability. You can block and pay 1 life to return it to your hand and save some damage in combat. You have an infinite block this way. Raising Bladeheart, fetches gain you 4 life, casting Ghostly Flicker and blinking 2 lands for 4 life. You might need to do this sometimes. Slippery Boggle, casting Snap on this and recasting it with a Wirewood Savage blade draws you 1 card and costs you 1 mana. This is a premier card to stash +1/+1 counters on it with Advocate of the Beast. Once you do, give it flying with Healing Spurs. I tried to include the Sky Shroud Cutter. I really wanted to. I'll show it to you right now. Sky Shroud Cutter. If you control a forest, you may have each other player gain 5 life instead of paying Sky Shroud Cutter's mana cost. And it's just a 2/2, and it's a beast. And it costs 3 and a green, but that doesn't matter. Most of you are playing casting's alternate cost. But going infinite means your opponent gains infinite life, and it's too clunky. You have to go like Turbo Fog, go Timeout, and Magic Online. And yeah, I wanted to include like a Trinket Mage package, because like Trinket Mage is another feature you can blink. And then I wanted to add a Molder Beast, which is a beast, and Fangren Marauder, which is also a beast. And then for Trinket Mage, I wanted to add Chromatic Stars to fix mana, and Chromatic Spheres, and Executioner's Capture for removal. But then I'm not running enough beasts. So I built the second list, which is the one with the blanking hard. I'm gonna go back to the cards because you can find here the Gulf Squid. Built one with the Gulf Squid. I built that today. It's actually been working pretty well. The deck still needs work, so we're gonna continue on in my multitude thing of decks. This one's just black-white enchantments. Notice how every torture resistance deck I ever make has to have Golgari Brown Scale. It just does. I don't know, it just does. I love this card, just the way it interacts with discarding. I'm a total Johnny, in case you guys haven't figured that out yet. But I'm also a Spike in that I want to win. But I don't want to use established decks, because I'm a hippie. So I'm going that way. Squadron Hawk, Stinkweed Imp, Street Wraith. You guys have probably seen this deck by now. Deadweight, Sinister Strength, Tortured Existence, and Land-Based Duress, and Last Rites. And, okay, here's my addition to the deck. There's this card called Wall of Hope. It's a wall defender. It's an 0/3 for 1 white mana. Whenever Wall of Hope is dealt damage, you gain that much life. Pestilence is also a common. It's an enchantment for 2 black. At the beginning of end step, if no creatures are on the battlefield, sacrifice Pestilence. Pestilence deals 1 damage to each creature and each player. So, the thing is, you can infinitely kill any creature with power 2 or less with a Wall of Hope and Pestilence in play, and your opponent will be losing 2 life every time, and you will not be, because the Wall of Hope is taking damage. Whenever Wall of Hope damage is dealt damage, you gain that much life. It is taking damage from said Pestilence. That is a combo I wanted to include in the main deck, but I felt like it was a little too funky, so I did not. And then here's one of my favorite decks. This is kind of using like kind of a best of, kind of with another Tortured Existence. I like bringing on this card, I just do. So 4 Fume Spitter, 4 D2 Slinger. This card is really good in this deck. It is 2 and a red with Echo. During your next upkeep, after this permanent enters the battlefield under your control, pay its casting cost or sacrifice it. It says when D2 Slinger enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to target creature or player. Simple enough. It's a recurable shock that you can use to murder Delvers with. Golgari Brown Scale, Grave Scrabbler, Stinkweed Imp, Tortured Existence, 10 Mountain, 4 Rakdos Skillgate, 9 Swamp, for a total of 23 lands, 4 Burning Inquiry, which are good in this deck, 4 Delirium Skeins, which are also really good in this deck, 4 Faithless Hitings, and 3 Icefall. So this one doesn't have a sideboard. This is one I'm currently testing, along with the Beast deck. If there are any decks you want to see in the Pauper Gauntlet, message me. I will certainly consider constructing them. As of now, these are all the decks I have. I have built plenty more, or like 100,000 more. I've constructed decks for Legacy, Commander, Modern, anything but Standard, which might have to change because they printed Encroaching Waste, and I want to screw people's lands with Encroaching Waste and Burning Earth. So I want to do that in Standard. But other than that, yeah, just message me about a deck. When this goes up on the YouTube channel, in the comments, I will state all the decks I have construed or built. Or let me go over them right now. So the first one is Bant Sunlight. That's the one with the Captured Sunlight, Basking Root Wall, Centaur Healer, Patrol Hound, Werebear, Wild Mongrel, Brainstorm Gush, Snap. So there's that deck. There's the John Lands one, where you've got the Tortured Existence and the Tilling Tree Folk, Stinkweed Imp, Grave Scrabbler, Golgari Brown Scale, Dangerous Wager, Burning Inquiry, Delirium Skeins. It's basically the red-black one, but splashing green for land recursion. You've got the Clodilfa Boros deck. Actually, you know what? I'm going to give you a quick... I don't think people believe how fast this deck is. Road deck, Clodilfa Boros. I'm kind of worried that I won't get enough lands though, but let's see what happens. So, yeah, here's the problem. I've been drawing too many mana sources, so we're going to take a mulligan here. Ah, there we go, this is a little better. So, turn 1, Chromatic Star, draw. Here's a little worrying. I think we're just going to go Rebirth, Chromatic Star, draw into a land. Damn it. Create 3 tokens. Obviously the mana base still has problems. I'm still getting it down. But for people that don't believe me, I will show you Blitzbolt is the person that has been testing it on Magic Online for me because I cannot do so. It's advanced like that's been getting some posts on the forum today, which I thought was weird. Anyways, it's on here somewhere. Ah, here we go. Hit the second page. So, Eclipse Bolt tested yesterday and MTG. I normally play Affinity, so I have some amount of skill with this kind of deck already. I'm not ready to take it to a daily yet, though. I didn't use Lotus Petals at the land count a bit, and played 2 Bladed Pinions spots. This deck beats Affinity unless they open God Hands. Creature removal is not a problem, ever. I had a blue-red post-Sexide and 4 Electricity, 2 Electrostatic Boat, 2 Ancient Grudge, and was already playing 4 Lightning Bolt in the main. Every time you kill stuff, I just play more. By turn 4, you're pretty much in top deck mode, which is like my favorite part about it. Delver is a hard matchup, unless if they know what to counter, which is, for Delver, they just need to counter your Flyers, your Glint Hawks, and RAF Sun Chasers. Fisher's Storm, you kill them really easily. Yeah, and here, landing early Flyers is the key to winning most matchups. And did you have fun? Yes, no matter what, the deck is a blast to play. So that's always, something I look for out of my deck. It's always fun for the player to play with. And then he mentioned how I don't play with, how I played with 14 lands. I had 14 lands, and I was still getting mana flooded, I felt. And he said I'm playing 17 and still missing most land drops. Maybe that's the difference between Cockatrice and Moto. I hope it's not. Lotus gives you, I was mentioning here. So he had fun with it. He's currently testing it right now. I cannot do on Moto because I am 17. I got a debit card. Oh, here we go. Here's a better one. So, Springleaf Drum. And no artifact lands, which is a problem. 1, 2, 3. We're going to go Porcelain Legionnaire, which means you get 2 artifacts. Oh, there we go. 3 artifacts, which means Frogmite, Frogmite. Tap this one. This is turn 3, by the way. For Goblin Bushwhacker. Attack. For 2. 4. 8. That's 8 damage. And then you untap. Attack Great Furnace. And attack again. And if they haven't played a creature yet, they're dead already. The deck's so fast, it's insane. This deck is fun to watch because the games last they either last like 4 turns or, yeah, they last like 4 turns on maximum. So this is another really solid hand. So first turn, you're going to go Ardent Recruit, Lotus Petal. Yeah. And then next turn, you're going to go... You're going to go... Porcelain Legionnaire, paying 2 life. 1, 2, 3. So you're going to sacrifice this, cast Springleaf Drum, use this to cast Frogmite, and then attack for 3. Notice you have 7 points of power out in turn 3. So we're going to play Chromatic Star, pop it for a white mana, draw a card, play a land, play this, and continue the beats with these 3. We'll be able to draw on a Great Furnace, Glint Hawk. See, I keep getting mana flooded. And I'm not even running that many mana sources. I don't understand. He's having trouble with 17 lands and getting flooded, even though he isn't playing Petals. But still. So this one, turn 1 Homunculus. Toughness. Red land would have helped. We're just going to go Sun Chaser. Oh, that'll help. Chromatic Star. Here's how we're going to play this. Kodotha Rebirth on Ancient Den. Is this third turn? Yeah, this is third turn. Red. Where are you, stupid red tokens? 1, 1. We're going to make 3 of ya. Oh, that'll help. So what we're going to do is we're going to float a white. Use Kodotha Rebirth on this one. And make 3 more goblins. This is turn 4? Yes, turn 4. Use that white mana to pop Chromatic Star for red mana. Draw a card, play Lotus Petal, and pay 2 for Goblin Bushwhacker, and practically beat for the win. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 18, 21. That's the win on turn 4. This deck is insanely fast, and if mono white can win by turn 4, I'd be really surprised if it could. This is a worse hand. 1, 2, 3, 4 mana sources, 1 cantrip. This isn't something I'd like to keep. We're going to ship it. Shit, no lands. Damn. That's where that can bite you in the ass. It's pretty inconsistent with his draws. It does not mulligan well because you really need every card to win. Oh, this is better. So first turn, Ancient Dead. This thing. Ooh. Yeah, this is good. And then we're gonna cast Springleaf Drum. We're gonna cast Sun Chaser. And we have 1, 2, 3 artifacts out. Well, that will help 4 if we have the Legionnaire. Maybe I should have played this differently. What did I draw this turn? So, first turn. That's obvious. That's our first turn. Second turn. Land. Drum. Here's the tough part. I want to tap this for red to sacrifice the Kodotha Rebirth, to sacrifice the Lotus Petal. I feel like we'll end up playing the Rebirth after we've already played our Legionnaire, which is kind of a problem because it's hard to cast Rebirth on turn 1. But yeah, I think what I did was right. Tap this. Get that out. Here we go. Frogmite. Does that come for free? 1, 2, 3. Oh no, it does not. Now Frogmite comes for free. Now we use the Frogmite mana off the Springleaf Drum to sacrifice Lotus Petal. Give you 3 goblins. It's turn 3 and you have... This is about 2 out of 3 hands. 1 out of the third hand you get a piece of crap. So this is the deck I want in the Pauper Gauntlet because this is the one I've done the most expensive testing with. And you have 3 artifacts. Oops. 3. So you have 3, 6, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14 points of power out. It's so hard to lose when you got this, and you're attacking with these 3 this turn, so which means they're at 14, and you're going to be putting on the serious beat down soon. Oh, another less than stellar hand. So you want to go first turn, Springleaf Drum. Oh wow, we got a lot of great furnaces. We got them to spare. So, Legionnaire, go down to 18. Tap, Glint Hawk, bounce. Okay. Galvast, so we want to go Rebirth, our own land. This is turn 3 again, right? Oh no, this is turn 4. This is a bit slower than usual. But this is still pretty quick. So 3 goblins, Galvanic Blast whatever they have in play, and attack for 5. Next turn, tap Goblin, Blast, attack. If you're not winning by now, I don't know what you've been doing wrong, but so yeah, that's how the deck works. I could probably show you a few games. Maybe let's try to get a few games into the deck. The Cold with a Boros deck. Dang, no games up. I could do like an M14 draft, I'm guessing, if we wanted to. I'm so tempted to play some music, but I'm not allowed to. I'm just not allowed to. So the deck's on Salvation. Here's what he was running. He was running 4 Ardent Recruit, 3 Arc Sunchaser, 4 Core Homunculus, 4 Frogmite, 3 Glinthawk, 3 Bushwhacker, 3 Legionnaire, 4 Star, 4 Galvanic Blast, 4 Rebirth, 2 Prophetic Prism, 4 Springleaf Drum, and 17 lands. So, I posted this deck on Pauper Decks Form 2, and it's got updated sideboard plans for each deck I have encountered. It should be down here. There we go, Kodoth of Boros. So it's got Archetype Breakdown, good, Goblins Affinity, Izzet Post, Blue-Black Post, and Mono-Blue Post, even, Storm, Green-Blue Storm, Infect, Stompy, Mono-Blue Control, Mono-Black Control, and Burn, Dragon Fiend's Kill Not, and the bad is the Fairies deck. And the impossible to win is Hexproof. So, unfortunately, one of its worser matchups, it happens to be one of the most popular decks in the format, but you know what you're going to do. There's actually no one making a Pauper game right now, so if we construe a Pauper game right here, you should get one really quick. Message me on the Pauper Decks forums, Salvation forums. I'm on there often. Even though I don't like Salvation as much, so I prefer Pauper Decks forums. Message me there. You can shoot me an email at vandenberg.joseph@gmail.com. I will show you that right now, how to do the spelling. Actually, I don't want you to see my email, but so it's just VAN. Whoops. It's VANDENBERG.joseph, JOSEPH@gmail.com. So there it is for anyone who wants it or needs it. Email me about future decks you might have. If it interests me, it's got synergy, then of course I will help you make it. So the decks I'm working on now, remember, are the Beast decks, the Red-Black Existence deck, and the Boros deck. Because, let's be honest, how do you not like winning on turn 4 with a horde of creatures out? It's just a lot of fun. It doesn't fall, the only thing it falls victim to is mana problem. It doesn't fall victim to the problem Thumpy has of too many pump spells, not enough creatures, or too many creatures, not enough pump spells, or the problem that Aura has, because it's running 28 creatures, 4 removal spells, and it's only running 12 lands. So if you like to play it risky, play this deck. It is fun. And we do not seem to be getting a game on here, so I am going to sign out right now. Remember, everybody, my name is Joseph. This is Joseph from MagicGatheringStrat, signing out.